Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of Telemazing. Today we've got Cody, we've got Kristen, we've got Alex, and we're going to be talking about The Ranch on Netflix. We're going to give it a review and tell you whether this show was worth watching. Was this a premise that you guys could buy?
Yeah, it wasn't overreaching in any way. I mean, it's a guy coming home after a failed attempt at being a professional athlete. Not that uncommon. I'm sure there's a lot of those. And he's going home to help his family with their struggling business. I mean, it's a very absolutely believable, probably going on in a lot of areas now situation.
And guy went out to try and make it big, has to come back home.
Right.
You know, and the balance of being back. So we have seen it before, but it definitely has its own spin, which is really nice. And it kind of oddly reminded me of like a PG-13 Sam Shepard play, if that makes sense. Maybe it was with the cast and the set and like everything about it was just very that style of writing.
Let's go episode by episode here. Episode 1, what was your feeling going through this is the exposition, we have to learn what the characters are like and all that type of stuff. Was it something that was an acceptable pilot?
The first episode, I found a lot of jokes where like, oh, that's funny, but didn't really find myself laughing hysterically through the whole thing. I don't think it landed in me one way or another with just that first episode.
And I messaged you and said I didn't like it from off the bat. I was like, oh, I'm not a fan of this show. So the first episode didn't really reel me in, no.
And so after going through all that from the pilot, now take that mentality. Now, how was it when it went to episode 2 and then to episode 3?
I actually have grown to like the show more, I think, because of the dramatic. I like the overlaying comedy because it kind of de-tenses the situation, but I find it really interesting, this family dynamic that is happening.
I think it got funnier as well. I found myself laughing out loud as the show progressed. I don't know if it's as you get to know the characters and their humor as well.
That makes sense.
I mean, that naturally happens, but I found myself genuinely really enjoying the show.
I did not. I do think it did get better because once it could stop with the exposition a little bit, they left room for more genuinely funny jokes, but I found it getting a little repetitive.
Let's just talk about the characters in general. Let's start with Danny Masterson. I feel like if there's anybody on a show that desperately needed a supporting character that brought out the funny and landed it well, Danny Masterson did it perfectly.
Yeah. My favorite part about it is he brings that comic relief, but he also is such an antagonizer to the drama.
Yeah.
So it's somehow he's funny while creating more drama to then break up with more comedy.
He has that really believable factor of brother that would have stayed home, and it's just this is what this. Doesn't think too much into it, just has this funny little quirks, but I find him to be very enjoyable.
From one brother to the other, I'm Ashton Kutcher, the star of this vehicle.
I'm not a huge Ashton Kutcher fan, but I genuinely enjoyed him a lot in this show, and I think he was handsome and he played the, almost douchey but genuine and lovable guy, and I really, really enjoyed him.
The drama part of it, the issues with his dad, was a side of Ashton that you don't really see. You're used to the punk, you're used to the 2.5 Men, but this was him getting supremely emotional and angry and letting out his issues and having these fights, and that was for me the cool thing to see with him.
Let's go to Sam Elliott. My man, just nailed it. But again, that's it's Sam Elliott. What are you gonna? You're gonna really?
I think he's the reason why I feel like it's a Sam Shepard
That's
play.
exactly
There's something about this character that's so authentic, so authentic. And after seeing him on Parks and Rec when he was playing the opposite to Ron, I was just he's also really funny. He's been on this kick of doing some really funny work lately.
Yeah, his facial expression never really changes.
Yeah.
His tone of voice never changes. He just delivers these lines, and it's so funny to me. I don't no one when they swear makes me laugh like Sam Elliott does for some reason. Just hearing him drop the F-bomb, I'm like, oh, that's funny, and I don't know why. I genuinely am yes.
But it has to be mainly because there's just nobody that is that anywhere on television. So
he's got his own niche.
And it's his delivery as well, and the believability of that character in the way that he would deliver it. He is the perfect grumpy Republican conservative
100%.
ball-busting guy, and so when he delivers these lines, he's not joking.
No.
So let's talk about the fourth main character, Deborah Winger. I feel most of us, I think, out of all the characters, was the weaker one.
I always think that the mother in any sitcom is usually the best character. Like, we look forward to that character because it's so just hilarious and specific, and I didn't get that from this character.
Why are you doing this to your kids? Like, why are you doing this to your husband? Like, you're either in the family or you're not. Like, and I just had a lot of problems with the writing of that character.
Alright, so let's talk about... There's too many supporting characters to go over, but let's just go around the table. Favorite supporting character. My favorite was Alicia Cuthbert. One, because I'm biased. Your emotions about Deborah is my emotions for Alicia. I think I loved her in everything she's ever done.
I also like the guy that plays her boyfriend, Kenny. I think he's so funny and adorable.
I love Kenny.
And I love that every single line is basically like, what pun can we make about hotels and hospitality management?
So Grady Lee Richmond played Hank, who was the man who was always at the bar, like always drinking beer.
The one that always hits on the mom, right?
Yeah, always had something to say. Like, I don't know why I like him. I just, like, he was listening to everything. And so, like, there's episodes where he'll, like, tell other characters what's going on, like, because he knows what's going on. I just really like that character.
So let's talk about the shows that compared well with The Ranch. And I personally, it reminded me straight up of Mom. Which is a show that was created, which has Anna Faris and Allison Janney on it, but it was created by Chuck Lorre, who was also a writer on Roseanne. And it's really funny because Chuck Lorre is also on 2.5 Men, was also executive producer, and a lot of these writers are from that ilk as well. So even though 2.5 Men didn't have that type of emotions or anything like that, Chuck Lorre probably gave them some advice about, hey, this is how I did the emotions for Mom, to have those dramatic undertones.
Humor-wise, I was saying it reminds me a little bit of, like, My Wife and Kids and 2.5 Men, and we found out it has a lot of the same writers, so that makes sense.
But it also reminds me a little bit with like the football obsession and the town. It's very Friday Night Lights, with everything revolving around the high school football team and the quarterback being the biggest star in town, and like reliving that glory. And so there's a little bit of that aspect in it for me too.
Let's end this thing so we can stop talking about Deborah. Was this show...
Like gladly.
Was this show worth watching? I would say 100% yes. I think it's really funny, and it grows with you. It's a comedy that you like when you start watching it. You're like, okay, this is fine, and then as you keep watching, it actually does grow on you, and you have laugh out loud moments with the show.
I'm the same. I recommend it 100%. I was 5 episodes in before I realized I was 5 episodes in, and I was like, wow, I'm actually enjoying this a lot. So I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I would recommend it as well, especially because they're not long episodes either. They're usually right around 30 minutes, but like you said, it grows with you.
I just did not like it. It's just not my type of show, not my type of humor. It's good, but it's just
I was gonna say, you said a lot of positive things about it besides Deborah.
Because I can appreciate a lot of it, but there's just, to me, there's so many better things to be watching, and even though it is short and sweet, it's not memorable to me.
That's gonna be it for the preview of The Ranch on Netflix, so make sure you try to give it a watch. You have 3 yeses and 1 no, so if you like this review, make sure that you like the video below and subscribe. We have so many videos that we do. We have all those videos. Along with that, we have a podcast on Monday and Elijah on Wednesday, so make sure you subscribe. Get all the content that we're doing. We do a lot here on Telemazing. So for Cody, for Alex, and for Kristen, I'm just Mwamba. Thank you for watching. Now go watch some television.